So I know I made a video saying that I was going to give my final thoughts on Cyrene. However, this topic for some reason is still going strong, and to be honest, stronger than ever. I've even seen Pokey kind of going on his own crusade to silence the doom posting of Cyrene. He says, even though I don't agree with all his takes, like you don't need Hyacine for Sirene to be good. That's a very face value take that a lot of people may believe. But trust me, I have seen like a My Day team, let's say, you replace Hyacine with Luocha, it added 2 cycles. Right? So please don't believe that at face value. There are some teams where removing Hyacine vastly hurts Sirene's value. Right? But he is right to an extent. And I myself have experienced this as a CC. A lot of people think that she's literally only an upgrade for the Remembrance team. But no, she's basically an upgrade for every single team. And I'm here to just, clarify this entire thing. Because people are doing the Goomba fallacy. For those who don't know what that is, it's when like person A says one thing and person B says another online. And then the Goomba, in their head treats 2 different people from 2 different sides of something as the same people, and they're like, oh, these people can't make up their fucking mind, right? So that's the Goomba fallacy. And I'm gonna, put it as straight as I can. Cyrene is an upgrade for all the Chrysosairs. The problem is she enough of an upgrade to justify pulling her? Right? This is where the big questions start flooding in. Because in version 3, Eidolon investment has become much, much stronger as compared to before. If you pull an E1 Aggie, that makes your Aggie like 50 to 60+% stronger, right? That is an insane jump in performance just by putting in 1 Eidolon. And it's a way bigger jump in performance than pulling for Cyrene and replacing your Sunday. Right. Yes, Cyrene would be stronger for Aggie, but not as strong as going into her E1 investment. Or what about Heislands? Heislands is the exact same case scenario. Her E1 is like a 50 to 60% damage increase. So this would mean she probably also outclasses Cyrene, as Cyrene isn't someone who gives a crazy jump to Heislands, right? Phanon, he has his E2. He has his S1. Any of his Eidolons or his S1 outclass pulling Cyrene for his team and replacing someone like Sunday. Or what about Cassie, right? Well, Cassie is one of the few case scenarios where it can be worth it, but there's things like E2 Cassie, S1 Cassie, E1 Evernight, E2 Evernight, S1 Hyacine, E1 Hyacine, multiple things where it may be more worth it to pull before you consider Cyrene as the next best value option. Now, if you are one of those people who on my channel are for some reason vehemently against ever investing into Eidolons, then, sure, you can pull Cyrene. However, to people who don't have this stupid restriction that they put on themselves of no Eidolons, it's an entirely different story when talking about Cyrene's value. Because this isn't a tribute, right? This isn't a character who you can pull and be like, yeah, she's still going to have great general value, and I can use her as an amazing alternative even for future DPSs that release. This isn't really a case scenario like that. It's more of a fugue situation. Yes, technically Cyrene has general buffs, but if you think about it, she's really just a worse Ruan Mei. Her buffing is probably on the same level, if not weaker, than a Mei, but Mei can use DDD because she's Harmony, while Cyrene can't. Plus, Cyrene's stacking ability without Chrysos heirs, which also means no Remembrance characters, would probably take nearly 2 cycles, I'd imagine. With no Chrysos heirs and no Remembrance characters, it would take quite a fucking long time, right? So it begs the question, should you pull this one support who's probably only going to be on 1 or 2 teams on your account for the rest of the history of the game, which is insane to say because that's the only team she's best in slot in for, Or would you rather pull someone like Tribby, who, yes, is weaker for almost all the Chrysos heirs, but she's so general, her value half a year down the line will still vastly outshine Cyrene? That's a question people need to answer themselves, and content creators can't make for you, because not every single content creator knows exactly what characters you have on your account or how you yourself enjoy playing the game. If you simply like horizontal investment because you get to play with more new characters and that's fun to you, that's completely understandable and you can go for it. However, if you care about optimal vertical investment, making a 1 or 2 DPSs you like last as long as possible, in most worlds, you would never pull Cyrene. Even for the Chrysos heirs, the majority of them, except for things like Anoxa and My Day specifically, have vertical investment, Eidolon investment that is noticeably stronger, right? So at the end of the day, it comes down to however you like playing the game. However, objectively, just talking about value, she isn't really worth pulling unless you already have all these Eidolons already, right? Like, for example, if you already have the full Mono Ren team with E1 Evernight, with E2 Cassie, yada yada yada, E1 Hyacine, then yeah, you're already at whale levels of investment. Sure, you can pull Cyrene, make it even stronger, and that just adds on top to it, right? But it's not really worth it, right? That's all I'm gonna say. Cyrene is, in my opinion, a very big bait pull. Short term, looks incredibly powerful, looks like a must pull. Long term, people won't really be using her down the line, and they're basically going to slowly forget about her. This doesn't mean old characters will be useless. Like, let's be honest, version 2 characters still clear currently with multiple cycles left. So version 3 characters will probably be able to do the exact same in version 4. But they're 100% going to struggle more. And a lot of people, in my opinion, usually end up having hindsight, right? Where they will, at a time, be so blinded by constantly vertically investing into a team and then waste all their jades and then be caught off guard by a drip market of a character or something, have 0 jades, and then regret spending so much on an older team that is already kind of falling off of the meta. I would like to keep people in mind that we are about to enter a new version. This isn't even like a beginning of version, a mid version. We are near the end of this version, and we're about to get a new power spike with probably characters with better animations, better designs, and just better power in general. So make sure that if you are planning to go hard vertical investment into some of these Chrysos Air teams, that you won't regret being low as shit on pulls when new characters get drip marketed. There's a lot of heaters coming up, like Yai Sakura, Hanabi SP, La Mancha, which is apparently the leader of the Galaxy Rangers. You as well have Blade SP, Luocha SP, Silverwolf SP. Himiko should be the second main push alongside Yai Sakura for version 4. There's a lot waiting for us, right? So that's my full thoughts on Cyrene and her value. At the end of the day, it's up to you what you like and what you want to go for. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.